Patriots, this is wild. People are saying that Jake Paul lost hundreds of millions of dollars on the fight that he was supposed to win. But that Anthony Joshua went against the tongue sign script and pounded him out. And what happened? Look at what happened. Anthony Joshua allegedly, kind of suspiciously, was involved in an accident that almost took his life. It took the life of 2 other people. So a lot of people are questioning what is going on.
Breaking news just flipped the internet upside down. Jake Paul is allegedly on the move. The internet flipped the moment the story broke because Jake Paul's name collided with Anthony Joshua's name. And suddenly, the rumor mill went into overdrive with fans, critics, and content creators treating the situation like a live crime documentary, asking what really happened behind closed doors. Why the timing felt explosive and whether fame, money, and boxing politics had finally created a perfect storm.
Created a perfect storm. What's going on?
What's up, Floyd?
I can have what I want.
What you mean with the camera? Oh, you got camera too. So who you supposed to be? I'm just working, man.
What happened? You're not tough anymore since your loss? What happened since your loss? Yo, we gonna bust him up, guys?
I told you before, put that
Yo, let's bust him up. Where you running, Jake? Where you going since your fight? Since you lost? What's up, Jake? Where you going, Jake?
What turned this from ordinary celebrity drama into something radioactive was the sudden appearance of law enforcement language. Because once federal agents and a celebrity mansion are mentioned in the same breath, logic leaves the room and imagination takes the wheel, and Jake Paul instantly became the center of a narrative where silence felt louder than any statement he could have made.
Confirmed that Jake Paul's home was being raided by the FBI. News station helicopters got footage and pictures of Jake Paul's house being
Oh, they taking his guns and stuff. So there's got to be something gun related. Like, damn. But that's a sticky situation right there.
Photos show the FBI SWAT team seizing guns, several guns. According to the local ABC station, the weapons included a long gun that was next to the hot tub in the backyard. This search is part of an ongoing investigation, and no arrests have been made.
Reports about an FBI search at Jake Paul Calabasas' property landed with the force of a cinematic trailer, complete with aerial shots, tactical gear, sealed warrants, and zero context. And that absence of explanation gave the internet permission to stitch together old headlines, past controversies, and long-held suspicions into a story that felt real simply because it felt dramatic.
Jake Paul's house just got raided by the FBI. What could this guy be possibly into now?
Connect outside of YouTube. Twitter was buzzing with photos and videos of SWAT teams at Jake Paul's house yesterday. And no, they are not fake. The FBI and a SWAT team showed up at Jake Paul's house. The search warrant. The search began at 6 a.m. in connection with an ongoing investigation, according to FBI spokeswoman Laura I. Miller. Jake was not at home at the time. Unfortunately for T channels and everyone else that wants to know the scoop, the judge sealed the search warrant affidavit, so we don't actually know too much about why Jake Paul.
Soon as officials refused to spell out exactly what they were looking for, the online world did what it always does best, which is turn speculation into sport. Because Jake Paul is not treated like a normal athlete, but like an episodic series. And every new development is framed as the next shocking chapter, rather than a disconnected legal or logistical event.
Any thoughts on AJ and the families?
Yeah, it's all prayers and blessings for Cena and Lots and Anthony, and I've kept them in my prayers, and it's such a tragic situation that we don't wish upon anybody, and I'm sending love to all of them and keeping them in our prayers, and I think everybody else should do the same. And we have so much love, and things are so much bigger than boxing and living life, and we're just all blessed to be here, and we all have to be grateful for that because you never know what's next.
Is where the conversation slid from boxing news into mythology, because Jake Paul's career already lives on the fault line between athlete and entertainment product, resurfacing of claims about controlled fights, protected outcomes, and brand first matchmaking poured gasoline on a fire that had been quietly burning for years among skeptical fans.
You lose hundreds of millions of dollars, people do not take it too kindly, and I can see the Vegas odds if they're saying, look, he wins, he always wins, it's going to happen in the 6th round. But no, Anthony Joshua said, not on my clock. I'm going to break his jaw in two. Two, Johnny. Make it 2, Utah. Make it 2. What do you guys think about this? I don't know. Is this conspiracy theory? Is there some truth to it? I don't know. I don't know, but it does seem pretty suspicious that it happened so soon after.
This is where the alleged fleeing story entered, because the Anthony Joshua angle intensified everything. Because Joshua represents the brutal reality of elite heavyweight boxing, a man forged through real danger and real consequences. And when his name is placed next to Jake Paul, people start talking about physics, pedigree, and survival rather than hype, which makes any unexpected outcome feel suspicious by default.
You know, for me, in my opinion, I think it's scripted a little bit because, you know, of the weight difference, and, you know, Joshua is a former, you know, champion. And also, you know, he's current, he's active, you know, and this is going to be the first time that we see Paul, you know, fighting an active fighter. You know what I mean? We seen the Mike Tyson, that was all fun, that was cute, you know what I'm saying? It's fun and games and stuff, but now you're dealing with a real professional, you know, and so we'll see how it ends up you know, like I said, I think it's scripted.
At the same time, others argue that capitalism does not need secret scripts, tips to produce chaos, because promotional power, timing, and opponent selection can shape narratives without ever writing a line on paper. And Jake Paul's defenders pointed out that he trains seriously, steps into the ring, and absorbs real risk that most internet personalities would never.
Jake would have won. Everyone would have known it was rigged. He couldn't win that fight. So he said, let me get to round 5. Let me get there, because if I can get there, then everyone can make money. And the second round 4 hit, Anthony was ready. It was so obvious. It's so gross to me that I participated in this because I wanted to see him get knocked out, and that's exactly what he knows to be true. Most people want to see him get knocked out.
When the debate hardened, because both sides were holding fragments of the truth. As Jake Paul is undeniably a trained fighter and undeniably a calculated brand, and once the public decides, a boxer is a marketing machine first. Every punch, pause, and performance gets interpreted through that lens. Whether fair or not, when the fight itself failed to deliver the destruction some viewers fantasized about, disappointment quickly mutated into certainty, and certainty took the form of scripting accusations, leaked plans, and alleged agreements, because it is emotionally easier to believe in a rigged outcome than to accept that reality often produces awkward, unsatisfying results.
A lot of people saying, congratulations to Jake Paul for being brave to step in the ring with Anthony Joshua. Not many people will want to step in the ring with Anthony Joshua. Let me tell you something. If someone paid me $80 million to fight Anthony Joshua, I'm stepping in there tomorrow, right? No training, no nothing. I'm leaving straight from work. I fly to Miami. And I'll get my jaw broken for $80 million, no problem. And I'm sure there will be millions.
The alleged fleeing narrative feeds off that emotional connection because it frames events like a drama online, supposed leaks, and predictions were treated like gospel rather than coincidence or fan fiction, and the logic became self-sealing because any denial was labeled a cover-up. Any uncertainty was framed as proof, and the narrative no longer needed facts to survive, only attention and repetition. This is where the alleged fleeing story gained traction, because once enough people repeat a claim, it stops being a question and becomes a plot point, with Jake Paul portrayed as a man choosing distance over confrontation. After pressure supposedly spiked following new reports, connected to the Anthony Joshua incident.
He's going to get a load of money to knock Jake Paul's spark out. That's it, mate. I want to see him get chinned. I do. And if we're going to get paid a fortune for the pleasure, sign me up. That's it. That's it. You know, I mean, I'm kind of past the days of trying to spin it to you. Better off saying to the why are you doing this? For the money and for the giggles. That's really what it is. But I said to him, I said, this ain't magic, mate. This guy could take your head off your shoulder. going to get a load of money to knock Jake Paul's spark out. That's it, mate. I want to see him get chinned. I do. And if we're going to get paid a fortune for the pleasure, sign me up. That's it. That's it. You know, I mean, I'm kind of past the days of trying to spin it to you. Better off saying to the fan, why are you doing this? For the money and for the giggles. That's really what it is. But I said to him, this ain't magic, mate. This guy could take your head off your shoulder.